Mr. Ammons, I appreciate your presentation. You seem to be relying on 2-5-101 for this issue regarding the addresses, and I do agree with your statement about specific statutes being more controlling than general. Have you read 2-1-107 as it pertains to addresses on qualifying petitions?
I have read that. I probably don't know it as well as you.
Well, just for the record, it says, provided that if the address shown on the petition is within the precinct in which the person is registered, but is not the address shown on the registration card, the signature shall be valid and shall be counted, does it not?
So this issue about 2-1-107, alleged petition signers are not qualified as follows based on, and I can go through each of these ones that we've challenged. These folks are not in the correct precincts. Let me go through a few of these.
Which ones are not in the precincts? Because I believe Mr. Davis will testify about that issue, and I want to make certain that you're giving accurate testimony.
Let me give a couple of examples. In Field 4, Ben Parker, the address provided on the petition is in precinct 90, and the address provided on the voter registration card is in precinct 26. In addition, no zip code is provided, and no recent voter registration history at the address is provided on the petition. Field 6,
Excuse me, Mr. Ammons, just 1 second. Mr. Davis, did you have a comment about that?
No, I wouldn't. I'm not responsible for it.
Okay.
As I said, can we do these one at a time? Because your question there is, they didn't actually verify that signature. So that's a non-verified signature on the petition, so it was not actually used to count to the 25.
Yeah, we're only focusing on the 25, or actually I think there's 27 approved signatures. We didn't approve all signatures on this petition.
Essentially, I think he turned in more than enough in the event that something like this happened.
It appears to me that you challenged addresses for signers 7, 8, 9, 12, 18, 24, 27, 32. So those are the ones when you're dealing with address issues that I'd like for you to tell me if any of those are in violation of 2-1-107.
Well, excuse me, this print's kind of small. I really need bifocals. So another one that we can discuss that is not one of the ones that you've mentioned that have already been disqualified, I think is in Field 12, Jeremy McLeod. The address provided on the petition is in precinct 92, and the address provided on the voter registration card is in precinct 89.
Is 92 in the county commission district for this office?
Well, I think it is, but if you take the statute that I talked about before, and we talk about this general specific issue of the statutes, and the statutes that are more specific are the ones that should be controlling in this case, then that means that the addresses have to match what is on file with the voter registration or in the election commission office. And so a lot of these that we're discussing, a lot of these records have addresses on the petition which do not match the addresses that are on file with the election commission or with the information that was provided to me on an information request from the election commission office.
Well, if the address is within the commission district and a precinct within the commission district, how does that not qualify as a valid address under 2-1-107?
Well, it does under 2-1-107, but the argument that we're making is that under 2-5-101B, which is the more specific statute on petition signatures, that the petition signature has to match what's on file with the election commission office.
I would believe that 2-1-107 is the more specific statute. I actually do have just a few more other questions. Mr. Ammons, do you have any evidence from a handwriting expert regarding whether or not any of the signatures for signers 1, 8, 9, 12, 18, 21, 22, 24, 27, 30, or 32 are not valid?
No, I don't have anything from a handwriting expert.
The issue about the reports that you're raising under 2-10-110, Are you contending that Mr. Smith has not filed any statements or reports with the commission, or that they were just untimely?
That they were untimely.
Okay,
In
but
fact,
they have
in some
been filed.
cases, very untimely.
That they have been filed?
Yes.
Would you agree with me that the penalty of not being qualified applies if you fail to file a statement? It didn't say anything about timeliness, does it?
I'll have to go back and look.
I have it in front of me.
Oh, okay.
It says, a candidate for state or local office who fails to file any statement or report required by this part shall be ineligible. It doesn't say anything about timeliness, does it?
Okay. No, I guess it does not.
And regarding the Facebook post that you mentioned, do you have a copy of it such that we can attach it as an exhibit for our record?
Mr. Ammons, if you'll provide that to the court reporter, I think we're now on exhibit L. Okay.
Okay.
Can I be recognized?
I have a question for you just for a second, and
Yes, sir.
I'll give back whatever time I have left. Thank you, Mr. Ammons. If you could hand that to the court reporter. Is this a copy for everyone, or is this, okay? My last question will be for Mr. Davis. Mr. Davis, have you verified the addresses for signers 7, 8, 9, 12, 18, 24, 27, 32, all live within the precinct for their address listed, and that address is within the county commission district for this seat?
Yes, we have for, you rattled this off pretty fast, Commissioner. So
7, 8, 9, 12, 18, 24, 27, 32.
24, 27, and 32, yes. And let me just state for
For the record, they all are within the county commission district.
Yes, they
and these
are.
are precincts within that district.
That's correct. But, okay.
Any additional questions of Mr. Ammons?
Madam Chair, I've got a question. Again, this is to our elected administrator. So I've got here the original voter registration card, which does have a different address, but then we have the updated one that came out. I'm assuming this is probably from an address update that actually has the same address as the one listed on the petition.
That is correct. But with that said, I just want to be clear that, and I believe it's April 7th, I won't swear to it, the date of the public record request. Mr. Ammons asked for copies of the voter registrations with the signatures. We provided those to him a little bit later. I don't know if it's April 7th or a little bit later. I apologize, I'm not knowing the exact date, but within a week or so, give or take, less than 10 days. Quite often what you have, and I'm sure you know this, is we keep copies of the original voter registration. And as you well know, sometimes you do this when you're 18 years old. And that's the one that stays in the file until you're 50, 60, 70, 80 years old. People change addresses. About 2.5% to 3% of all people change an address during any given election. What we have in our computerized system, which I gave to all of you, is I would like to think we certainly follow the letter of the public record request, if not the spirit, even one of the signatures. These are the computer printouts of the most recent address of all of the individuals. You just rattle off some numbers, 7, 8, 9, 12, and all of those, et cetera, et cetera. They are all, I think with one exception, they are all the correct addresses, and even if it is not the correct address, as you well noted, 21107, I believe it was, those do not have to be, as long as they're in the same district and the same precinct, then they are good to go.
Thank you, Mr. Davis. Other questions of Mr. Ammons at this time? Yes, Mr. Davis, you're recognized.
I realize I'm way late to the game on this, but in one of the exhibits, Mr. Ammons was gracious enough to submit 8 exhibits. One of those was a video. I had no way to enter the video with evidence, but I did send it to all of you for viewing. This would have been back on May 20th, I believe it was, something like that. And so I did at least forward that to all of you. I just don't have it present with us today.
Mr. Ammons, what is that video of, if you can refresh our?
That's the video where Mr. Smith declared his candidacy for President of the United States.
Let's make that as a late filed exhibit for purpose of establishing the record. That would be exhibit L.
We'll develop a method to get that in the record.
We'll just download it to the thumb drive and get it to Ms. Patterson.
Thank you, Mr. Ammons. I don't think we have any additional questions for you at this time. We appreciate your presentation.